In this video, we're going to talk about the cost of living in Gig Harbor, Washington, and how it compares to other parts of the Puget Sound and other parts of the country for that matter. And we're going to get started on that right now. Hey everyone, my name is Darren Rivers and I am the Northwest Realtor, and welcome to Living in Gig Harbor, Washington. If you're new to this channel, hit that little subscribe button, tap that little bell so you can have all your notifications of my weekly videos. Maybe you'll be sitting out here by a fire with me and learning what there is to know about Gig Harbor, Washington. I get calls all the time from people all over the country wanting to know what it's like to live here, what the features are around here, what we have to offer. So that's what this channel is all about. All my information is right there on the screen. Give me a call, send me a text, put a little comment in the comment section of this video. I'll make sure I get back to you right away. And we're gonna get started on the content of this video right now. So what's it cost to live in Gig Harbor, Washington? Let's kind of get into that, the main stuff. One of the biggest things people obviously want to know is what's housing? How much does a house cost? So let's go over that, compare it to other parts of the region, compare it to other parts of the country. You can kind of see what you're getting into. So the median home price in Gig Harbor as of February 2022 is $698,000. So just call it $700,000. That's the median. Now, you compare that to the country. The median home price across the country right now is $375,000. So we're not quite double what they are, but we're getting close. We're significantly higher than the average parts of the country. The whole West Coast is really. There's of course pretty expensive parts of the country, and New York and things like that. But in the grand scheme of things, West Coast tends to be a higher price point when it comes to housing costs than our counterparts. So let's compare it more locally. Okay, so Gig Harbor, just about $700,000. Excuse me. You go up to Seattle, which is about a 45-minute drive depending on traffic. Their median home price is $773,000. So a little higher than ours, but very much in the same little bracket, very close, very similar. Now you go to Tacoma, which is closer, it's across the Narrows Bridge. Median home price in Tacoma currently is $445,000. And then if you go north up into Kitsap County and hit Bremerton, their median home price is $429,000. And realize there's a large range here, right? I mean, all of these places, there's homes that are on the water, that are estates and just have these, they're magnificent and they're millions upon millions of dollars. But then all of these places also have, some manufactured home, mobile home parks and things like that, which are way down lower in the price point range. So it kind of brings it all together. So, take it with a grain of salt, but when the median home price is nearly double what the rest of the country's is, you know that the housing costs are higher out here. And it's kind of funny because I get clients from all over the country. I get a lot of military clients that come out here, and they're stationed wherever they may be, sometimes in other parts of the world. But they grew up in Oklahoma or Louisiana or Missouri or something like that. And they tell me that they're looking for, a 3-bedroom, 2-bath with a 2-car garage and an extra shop on 2 acres. And, all of these features, and they have a $400,000 budget. And I literally, I almost laugh and I say, well, we don't work in the Ozarks. It's just a different price point out here. So for something that they're describing, what I just described to you right there, here in Gig Harbor, well, you're looking over $1 million. So that's just, whew, sorry, fire fell over, a little smoke in my face. But anyway, it's all good. It's really pleasant to be out here with you guys. So anyway, so that's what you have for housing prices in Gig Harbor, Washington, the Puget Sound in general, and then of course how it compares to the rest of the country. So if it costs so much money to live here, how much money do you make here? Well, let's talk about wages. So the average wage here in the Puget Sound area is about $77,000 a year. Compare that to other parts of the country. Florida, for example, has got the lowest end, they say. At least this is what I found on the internet, and you can find anything you want on the internet. But this is what I found, is they say the average wage salary in Florida is $50,000 a year. And nationwide, the average is $56,000 a year. So, we're a third higher here than you are in other parts of the country, which, will help make up the difference in that housing costs. Since we're almost, I don't know, do those ratios work out? You make $25,000 more, but now can you afford a $300,000 more expensive house? Who knows? But anyway, the wages here, obviously, it varies greatly. I mean, we have Microsoft executives and Amazon executives here that are making millions upon millions upon millions of dollars. Wage here, which is, don't quote me, I could have looked this up, but $15, $16 an hour or something like that is minimum wage in this area. So anyway, let's get back to it. Average annual salary in the Puget Sound area is $77,000 a year. So a little higher here than others, but it costs more to live here as well. So that's where we're at with wages.
Let's talk about taxes. This is a big one. I mean, this makes a big deal. I mean, taxes are the reason why everybody's moving out of California, right? So you can make all the money in the world, but if they tax every dime that you have, well, you're not ending with as much in your pocket for you to go enjoy with you and your family. So let's talk about taxes. Okay, so Washington, we have some advantages and we have some disadvantages. The biggest advantage is we have no state income tax, and that's huge. I mean, that is a huge deal. Many other places have state income tax that are just taking money right off the top, so you don't have to worry about that at all here. No state income tax. Now compare that to like Oregon. They have a 9% state income tax. That's pretty significant. Now they have no sales tax, right? We have sales tax, kind of makes up for that. Our sales tax, it varies from location to location because every city and every county can add in their own little sub taxes on top of the state sales tax. So you're looking at about 9% sales tax. So if you spend exactly what you make, living here versus Oregon is the same, right? Because they have no state income, they have no sales tax, but they have the state income tax. We're the opposite. We have no income tax, but we have a 9%, roughly 9% state sales tax. But most people don't spend entirely what they make. I mean, well, gosh, this is America. Everybody's in debt, so I take that back. But, if you're financially responsible, you're not spending every dime you make, you're a little better off tax-wise in those two regards with being in Washington. But taxes hit everything. I mean, Washington is pretty aggressive on other taxes. So while we have no state income tax, which is a very big advantage, they tax the heck out of everything. I mean, there's gasoline tax and there's alcohol tax, and they just tax, you get a permit to get a little project done on your house and you have tax. There's just taxes on everything, and I'm sure this is the same or variations there of it all over the country, but it seems to be nickel and diming us a lot here. You go to the grocery store to get a bottle of booze and it has what the price is, and then after all the taxes down below it says what your total is, and it's not that it's doubled, but my God, it increases a lot. So just be prepared for a lot of taxes on just stuff that just adds up. So we get taxed a lot on things. But again, got to stress, no state income tax. That's pretty big. So I mentioned gas and gas tax. Let's talk about gas and the average price of gas here, because that varies widely. I travel from time to time. I was in Nashville not too long ago at a conference, and one of the things that I always am looking at is when you drive by a gas station, what the cost of a gallon of gas is in that particular area. So here in the Puget Sound area, excuse me, for a gallon of unleaded gas, you're looking at $3.90 right now, as compared to the average nationwide is $350. I guess it's 350 pennies. It's $3.50 nationwide average. So the lowest
are places there in the Midwest, Missouri and Texas, Oklahoma. All of those are right around the 320 mark. The most expensive, California, of course. They have all the taxes. They throw it. It's like $4.71 a gallon. So, you know, they're well over $1 above the national average. So now this is going to come into play less and less, and some of you it doesn't even really apply to because you're driving electric cars anyway, and this is very much the trend. The whole world's going in this direction, and in the not too distant future, nobody's going to have combustion engine cars anymore. I'm curious about the electric bills and what they're going to do to tax the electric bills. But anyway, so that's what a gallon of gas costs right now in the Puget Sound area here in Gig Harbor as compared to other parts of the country. So the last tax that I'm going to talk about, and it's a pretty significant one, is your property tax, right? So we talked about the cost of living here. We talked about what a home costs, and then we talked about how much money you're making, right? So what about the property taxes? Because those are kind of the hidden things, you know, just it's just not always in the top of people's mind of what their property taxes are. So Washington, we're right about in the middle. We rank number 30 in all the states, and the way the averages work out, we're a little under the average percentage-wise property tax. So our property tax here in the state of Washington is 0.98% of your assessed value. The average across the country is 1.07%. So we're right there in the middle. You know, compare that to the lowest is Hawaii, which is 0.28%. And then the most expensive is New Jersey. Get this, it's 2.49% of their assessed value is their property tax. I mean, that's a lot. Now, so we're right about 1%, 0.98%, let's just call it 1%, 1% of the assessed value. So yeah, we're in the middle there, but our average home price is so much higher here, you're actually spending more money. So, you know, if someplace has, you know, 1%, but their home is valued at $400,000 and ours is 1% and your home is assessed at $800,000, well, your property tax is twice as much, even though it's the same percentage rate. So percentage-wise, we're very much in the middle of the country, just average like everybody else, or like most of everybody else, not on the extremes one way or the other. But when it comes to writing the check, it's going to be higher here simply because our assessed values are so much higher. So you have a problem at your house. You need a contractor to come out and take a look at something. You need a plumber to come out and fix a leak. You have an electrical problem. Your refrigerator quit working. So you need somebody come out, a licensed professional, and do some work on whatever you got going on in your house. And this, I'm telling you, this is where I think we are expensive. And maybe somebody on here can comment on this of how it is in your part of the world or where you live in the United States. But I am astounded at the prices that they charge. So, you know, back in the day, if you had a job that needed to be done, you could call 3 or 4 different places and they'd come out and give a free bid, try to win your business, tell you what they would charge you to do whatever kind of work they're doing. Well, that doesn't exist anymore, at least not here. Now there's an appearance fee. That's what I call it, an appearance fee. So your refrigerator goes out, right? So you know, you're kind of panicked. You have all your food in there, you're getting your coolers, you're filling it with ice, you're hoping that your food doesn't spoil, and you get on the phone with a refrigerator repair guy, a technician, and he says, hey, I can come out in 2 to 3 weeks, and it'll cost you $200 for me just to show up, and then I'll tell you what's wrong with it, and then I'll tell you what my bid is to do that. But it's a $200 appearance fee. Sometimes they'll throw that into the overall job if you actually pick them to do it, and sometimes it's $200, and then you got to pay them whatever it is that they're going to fix. You know, just everything's like that. It's just an appearance fee of $150 to $300 just to show up and evaluate the issue for 30 minutes. It's like, that's a pretty darn good hourly rate. You know, it used to blow me away. I used to be in public safety. I worked for the fire department. And, you know, our job was supposedly to, you know, save lives and keep the public safe. What's more valuable than that? And we'd go out and do that, and I'd make my hourly rate. And And then I get, you know, a plumber or an electrician that's trying to charge me 4 times that hourly rate to do an evaluation. Now, here's the thing. They can get away with it because they're super busy. Everybody needs work. They got work lined up for weeks and weeks and months, and that's why they say, yep, I'll get to you when I can, but may not be for 3 or 4 weeks. It's not because they're being lazy. It's because they're actually got work to do, and people are willing to pay them these wages. So here in this area, in my opinion, services, professional services are expensive. And if you need some professional work done, man, be prepared to write the check. And maybe I'm just cheap. Maybe I just don't get the value of it. But I mean, you know, there's good work and there's bad work, you know, so make sure you're paying for good work. Don't get suckered into bad work and really get charged for it either. So anyway, that's my little tangent. I'll stop on that right now. But goods and services, not goods, I'm sorry, services and professional products, professional services, they're kind of expensive here. Last thing I'll touch on as far as costs of things, they're just kind of your normal everyday stuff, you know, groceries, things like that. I think it's pretty similar to other parts of the country. My parents used to live in Alaska, so I'd go up there and visit, and groceries are definitely more expensive up there. Everything has to be shipped, right? Here, you know, we have a lot of stuff just in the Washington area that is grown here, so it doesn't have to be shipped very far. And, you know, I think for the most part, that sort of stuff is very much in line with the rest of the country. However, avocados are expensive. Little personal story, I grew up in Southern California. I had an avocado tree in my backyard, so they were free. And I mean, I couldn't give enough of them away. I had thousands upon thousands of avocados and would have, you know, guacamole almost daily. It was just great. And I moved up here. I go to the grocery store and it was like $3 for an avocado. Are you kidding me? It just blew me away. So I love them, but I don't buy them very often just because I was used to getting them for free. Anyway, so all of that stuff is very much in line with the rest of the country, and I don't think you'd be shocked one way or the other. So highlights of this video: housing costs, they're a little higher here than other parts of the country. Depending where you're at, Gig Harbor in particular is going to be more expensive. It is just a higher, I don't want to say higher end, but the housing prices are higher in Gig Harbor as compared to many of the surrounding areas. But it's really nice here. I mean, you pay for what you get. It's beautiful. Wages, you're going to make a little bit more money here. Taxes, this is just a summary, right? Taxes, no state income tax. That's your biggest deal, no state income tax. That could be giant for you. Pretty decent sized sales tax of around 9%, and then all the nickel and diming taxes on booze and gas and everything like that. We went over what the cost of gas is here compared to other parts of the country. We went over property taxes and how they compare to other parts of the country. We're very much in the middle, but because our housing prices are higher, it's going to swing your overall property tax bill up as well. And then goods and services. The services I feel are expensive. Maybe it's like that everywhere, but I think they're kind of high. And then everything else is about the same. So anyway, everybody, I'm going to sum it up with that. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Again, I'm going to put my information right here. Please reach out to me, give me a call, send me a text, send me an email, make a comment, like this video, whatever you want to do, just reach out. If you want more information about Gig Harbor, the Puget Sound area, man, I'm here to help. My team and I are helping people all the time. My name's Darren Rivers, and I will see you on the next Living in Gig Harbor video. You guys have a great one.